We are live. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday. We're so happy to be here with all of you. We are going to be starting things off with a little bit of an introduction to what we're writing today, like we usually do, and how we're doing so far with NaNo. So I've got Emma here on my right. You look so do you want to start?
Yeah, I have been nanoing, well, sort of nanoing rebelliously because I'm working on something that I've been working on for a while. I didn't start it this month, but I also just haven't really been doing much at all. I think I've written about 1,000 words this month, so I've been very busy with school and some other things. So.
Nanoing rebelliously. And I've got Helen right underneath.
Yeah, kind of the same. I was trying to traditionally nano at the start of the month, but as the end of the school year has been approaching, I have too many essays to worry about that. So I'm working on an essay today.
I feel that.
And Rachel, sounds like you have similar sentiments.
Yes, I am also working on an essay. I'm not technically doing nano to the fullest, but I do have a 10-page paper due, and that's a good chunk of words. So that's what I'm going to be working on today.
And what about you, Kelly?
Well, I haven't been in school for a decade, so
rub it in, why don't you?
So I'm gonna be actually nanoing, I guess. I'm working on a couple different projects, so also going rebelliously, telling them all together. I'm about on track, but falling a little behind the last couple of days. So a big writing weekend is exactly what I need.
Nice. I am also nanoing rebelliously, meaning that I am working on a project I've been working on for a little while. I'm still trying to get to 50,000 words, but I may be sneaking in previous parts of scenes I've written before and still counting that. So hence my rebelliously, I'm lying to the website a little bit.
I mean, you technically already
We're terrible nano.
Such a rebel. So I think we're going to do a 5 minutes, like kind of warm up sprint here. Also, please let us know what you're working on in the comments. Share how you're doing so far. We love to hear from you. I do think we had a quick question we can address. Somebody asked right away if there were other sprints or other write-ins outside of November, and over on our channel, on the WordNerds channel, we actually have every Sunday we have chats, and we usually do at least one write-in a month because we really love write-ins and it helps our word count. So yeah, please follow us over there, and you will definitely find that we do quite a few write-ins no matter what month of the year it is. So
also you can follow
we
us
do
on
an
Twitter.
extra special one tomorrow.
Yes.
We have an extra special one tomorrow. We will be doing a 4-hour write-in on our channel starting at 4 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be partnering with For the Words, writing for 4 hours, and then just hoping we're still human by the end of it. But also follow us on Twitter.
I was gonna say follow us on Twitter, because sometimes on like a random Thursday, someone's just like, I'm gonna do a write-in, and then tweets about it. I know Megan's done that a couple times.
Well, writing sprints just on Twitter, on the WordNerd Twitter account. Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we kind of are all over the place doing lots of writing sprints. So on Twitter, we also have a Facebook, and then we also have our main one is the YouTube channel, of course. So we'd love for you to join us over there. So we're going to do a 5-minute warm up, excuse me. And we kind of have a little bit of a grim theme for our writing prompts today, because Helen's
do you expect anything less?
Yes. Well, we're quite a few of us are dark fantasy writers, and then on top of that, we're all sick right now, it feels like. So that's why we got our Meghan. Meghan is down for the count. I know I've been dealing with my small child has had the plague. So that's the theme for this sprint is the plague. So, so for the first one, we're going to do delirium. So that's the word for this one, delirium. So maybe it's literal. Maybe you have a character that actually is sick and is going through fever dreams, or maybe it just is symbolic and you have just pure chaos in a scene. So whatever way you can use it, and of course you don't have to use it. We will write the prompt in the chat. And when do we want to start? Maybe now. It's 9:05.
Now is great.
Okay, sounds great. Let's start now. And time. All right, so that was our 5-minute warm-up sprint. How did you guys do? Are you warmed up?
Added a quote to the essay.
Nice.
Woo!
I literally wanted to start my laptop and send my story to myself on my main computer, and it took 4 minutes to start my laptop.
Oh no!
But I did get to send it to myself. So let us know how you guys did. I love people's reactions to the warm-up sprint. So Mia Kerrigan got 157 words. That's very good, actually. Dan Curdy, I'm sorry if I pronounced your names wrong, got 135 words. Serial PG got 270. That's impressive.
Wow.
Headphones Books joined late, but got 27 words. The Liz Meister got 219. You guys are crushing it, seriously. Awesome. So we are going to do a 10-minute one next. But if you guys have any questions, please do drop them in the comments below. And if we missed any when we first started, please do ask them again. We're not ignoring you. We probably just got lost in the comments. Vanessa Ivlisser got 310. You're a machine. Desiraye.
Hi.
Desiraye.
We do have a question. Do you have any advice to nail a science fiction novel? Anybody write science
I'm very intimidated by science fiction.
Yeah.
But Kelly's written it.
I read a great quote recently about like, unless your science fiction is super grounded in science, it's essentially fantasy. So don't overthink it unless you want to write that hardcore science fiction, in which case I have no advice. That is very scary.
Then hopefully you're a scientist like the guy who wrote The Martian.
Yeah. Like just focus on telling a great story and enjoy the parts that make it sci-fi, because that's what your readers are looking to enjoy as well. You know, always down for a laser fight or discovering some aliens or just really interesting technology.
Nanotech, some AI.
Nanotech. So I figure we start at the 15. That works for everybody. I think we had one more question. How do you stay motivated during NaNo when you feel unmotivated? Headphone Books asks.
We have so many videos on that. Go and check out the WordNerd channel for more inspiration.
We do. We have tons and tons of advice videos. Yeah.
Just showing up to these things are great. Like writing with other people, having that accountability and motivation, writing in just little sprints can be really helpful. So you've come to the right place.
Or you can motivate yourself with chocolate like Meghan does. I can't do that because I will eat it all right away because
I'll just be like, ooh, chocolate.
And if the problem is like where you're at in the story right now, you're feeling bored with, like just think of something you can do that will make it exciting. Like Meghan always says, kill a character, but you could also like write a kiss scene if that's more your thing, or like have something really terrible happen. Something to just like make the story get exciting for you again.
Yeah, I think it's Susan Dennard who talks about like finding the cookies. So like find stuff you're really excited about. Maybe that's like this certain scene you have that you know that you've been, putting off writing because if you're like me, you write from chapter 1 onwards. But sometimes if I get bored or unmotivated, I'll skip ahead and write that scene I'm really looking forward to.
Our next prompt.
1 more minute, and the next prompt is infection or fever. I told you these prompts were gross.
I love them.
Yeah, our prompts are plague themed. If you just tuned in now and are wondering what the heck is going on. So infection or fever, maybe there's a problem that they have to eliminate. Like maybe, again, it's symbolic. Maybe there's a traitor within their organization. It's like an infection spreading through the organization. Or maybe it's just straight up literal and somebody has a sickness. So I will again leave that in the comments, and we're going to start now at the 15 and go for 10 minutes. And time. Guys could probably do that.
Mhm.
Let it go.
Good.
I ended up mostly having to like reread over old stuff.
Mhm. I know somebody was like, "Are you typing or are you just staring?" And I was like, "I'm reading." So yes, I am just staring. I'm staring, going, "What? Why did I write that?" All right, we got some awesome word counts in the comments here. Let's see. Alexandra Ispis got 381 words. Larissa G got 234 words. Isabel Collins got 409 words.
Wow.
Tiana Gable got 276 words.
Do y'all want to come over and like write my essay for me? Because
Right.
you guys are doing so much better than I am.
Like, how interested are you in writing an essay about Frankenstein? You could help two of us out.
Yeah, because we said this in last week's chat. Wait, this way? There
Yeah.
we go. This way. We and I are both writing essays on Frankenstein at the same time, so that's a fun coincidence.
And we are like not in the same school. We're
No.
like several cities apart.
Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, it's
Not
that
even
like
same class.
almost end of degree classic lit class that like every English major has to take, I think.
Yeah.
And again, if you asked any questions earlier and we missed them, please do ask them again. They tend to get lost in the comments. I thought I saw one earlier. Alicia Duran asks, so I'm muddling through the middle. I want to know how to keep focused. It's much easier to focus on a finished draft than think and build. Yeah, we get a lot of questions about the middle and keeping focused. I'm a person who plots extensively in order to skip the sagging middle. So that's always my answer is plot.
Even taking the time to just plot like 2 or 3 chapters or scenes ahead and knowing kind of where you're going can help if you don't want to plot like your whole novel because you feel like that takes away the fun.
Yeah. And that same question from earlier, like adding in the cookies kind of thing, of finding ways to make sure it's not that typical sagging middle kind of thing where you're just waiting for things to get exciting again. Make sure you're keeping your plot going, things are happening, and then it just feels, I don't know, like it's building to something, which can be fun.
Yeah, it's like make sure you find the important thing in the middle, I think, is finding a balance between your character making some progress towards their goals or like learning things or something, but also there being obstacles because you don't want them to figure everything out and reach their goals too early in the story. But you also don't want it to feel like they're not making any progress with the narrative. So,
Let's see. I figure we'll do maybe give a little bit of time in the middle here for more questions because we got a few. So maybe at 35, we'll go for our next sprint, which will be 20 minutes. We do have a question about flashbacks. I know somebody asked earlier how many is too many.
Really depends on your story. That
Mm-hmm.
if you need a lot of them, it's almost worth having just like a secondary timeline. Like if it's going to be a whole thing of like make that a thing of your story rather than just flashbacks. But
yeah, Lanny Taylor is someone who does this really well in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone series. There are a lot of flashbacks. So she does like a sort of like going back, like it's a different timeline, basically, as if I'm remembering.
Yeah, I didn't like that in that book. It was too big of a block. It was like you were going along with the story, and then suddenly it was like a huge portion of the book was going back and showing like the history. And I didn't like that.
I think is important. So you're not taking away from your main storyline, but finding ways to make them both keep your readers' interest at the same time, which is tricky, but absolutely doable.
Yeah, there's actually a book I just finished reading, and this I guess technically counts as flashbacks, but depending on how you're writing your story, is that the book that I was reading had the storyline, but then every couple of chapters it would have a page that was like a history flashback. So it would be like a journal from a top political figure from like 100 years ago, that was kind of like setting up how they came to be in this particular situation, or if the character discovered something, then it would kind of allude to this person like planting that, a couple years ago, like that kind of thing. So I think you could mess with formats as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be this one character, but if it is, then that's something different.
I'm actually I didn't mind it in Lani Taylor's because I just think everything she touches is gold, and I think
I agree. Here's to that.
But normally I don't love flashbacks for just as a personal preference, and I don't really include them in my actual writing because I find them very difficult to do well. But everyone's going to have a personal preference about that, of course.
I found it's easier to read when I guess write as well. If you kind of not put in like a chunk of 600 words as a flashback. If someone sees something and gets triggered or has like a little PTSD moment, sorry, that sounded so have like a little PTSD moment, no big deal. Then you can kind of put in a sentence or two and then kind of cap it. And then you can still kind of get that anxiety or fear that's associated with that memory. Or you can kind of do it as one of those it's finally time for me to tell my story to the other person. And if there's more than one person in a scene, and kind of have them talk it through instead of showing it as a flashback.
Yeah, I actually do that I'm pointing over my wrong shoulder.
With backwards land.
Reversed, so I'm constantly doing this. With Witches of Ash and Ruin, I did a sort of a flashback, it's a mini one. So she's her father says don't walk away from me. And those words trigger, he said that, half a year ago, and then this is what happened. And so she's remembering the physical sensation of, excuse me, of being dragged out of the house because she almost got sent to conversion therapy. And it's just a split second. And then you get a little hint of what's happened, and then that's sprinkled in later. So there's no full flashback, but something triggers it so that she has this short little traumatic memory, essentially.
Yeah.
So yeah, very much what Rachel was talking about.
So focus on why you're doing it and what information you're trying to convey, and then how much it's pulling the reader out of your main storyline, and you'll find your balance.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So we got 2 minutes left. I know we had a couple more questions. Let's see. Let's do. Okay, so here's one about an English project, which you guys might be able to help out with. Ken Curdy says, my English project novel is to be passed soon. I decided to pass my NaNo story. What do I do if I only have limited time to edit or beta read the book when the project deadline is approaching? Any students have any tips on that?
I mean, it's a good idea because you'll get it done. But how big is your book? How big is your project? Because you could
how much time do you have?
Yes. It's if it's a whole book, that's, I don't know what kind of English class you're taking, but that's a lot of work. But if it's a couple chapters, you probably can narrow it down even.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is because creative writing programs do have a novel course that's in the upper 400s. So if you're doing something like that and you actually have to hand in your novel in 3 weeks when the semester is done, I would maybe concentrate on the editing and the beta reading rather than writing new stuff, because handing in a shorter, better written novel is going to be better than handing in a longer one that you don't have time to make pretty.
Good idea.
That is good advice.
All right, so we've got a prompt, which I'll do really quick. And this one is a really simple one. It just, the prompt is spreading. So we had a plague themed, and the very nature of the plague is that it spreads through cities and towns. So again, you could do it literally, something is spreading through your city or town or your characters, or metaphorically. And we're doing 20 minutes this time. And time. How did you guys do?
I was doing well, but then I got distracted.
Oh, kitty.
Tiny house demon.
That's fair.
I finished my chapter and then it kind of was just reading over what I'm supposed to do next in my outline.
Nice.
I finished some discussion posts for school and then wrote about 100 words. So
Nice.
I wrote 200 words for also a discussion post.
Lots of discussion going on. I got to my next scene and got started with that, so I'm happy with that.
Good.
I got to where my main character uses magic for the first time, so that's fun.
Ooh.
Exciting. So we have some really good word counts in the comments here. We've got Elle Speckman, who's got 409, Swirls of Blue, 203, Alexandra Isbis, 671, The Lizmeister, 778, Rosemary Tiger, 508, Caitlin Kerna, 773, Elizabeth Boscher, 536, and Erin Nicole Johnson, 356. I like your name, by the way. Do we have 2 Erins? We do. Erin with 2 R's, 612. Nice. You guys are killing it.
Right when we started, someone was talking about how they use the prompt for like witch hunt fever is spreading across Europe. That was
Yes.
Nice.
Give me all the witchy books.
I do approve. Like me some witches. So we have a couple of minutes before we have to wrap it up here. If we missed any of your questions, please post them again.
Also, tomorrow's 4-hour write-in, we'll have lots of time for questions. If we don't get, because we only have 4 minutes left, so if we don't get to your question, definitely try to come tomorrow if you can.
Yes. So tomorrow will be lots of writing, lots of sprints, tons of giveaways. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
And that will be over on the WordNerd channel.
Yes. Yeah. Please join us over there for tomorrow. And we'll have lots more time to answer your questions.
There was just a comment of a 4-hour write-in in all caps. When, where? So, the WordNerds channel. There is a link in the description of this video. So that's starting at 4 p.m. Eastern time over on our channel. And we usually do our NaNo write-ins at 7:30 Eastern time on Sundays, or the monthly ones we do through the rest of the year. And we have all sorts of bookish discussions every Sunday and 2 videos a week. So feel free to join us over there. Good.
Very nice plug.
We got like 3 minutes to fill.
There'll be a link below, so you can follow that after this. That'll stay up.
Wow, I'm feeling so inspired to do NaNoWriMo with my limited edition NaNoWriMo mug. It's the perfect size for all that tea I drink, and wow. Oh my goodness, it's so good.
The price is right.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think also that Meghan already has the 4-hour write-in set up, so you can have a reminder for it as well. So if you are interested in joining us, you can go over and hit the reminder button, and then you'll get a little notification half an hour before we go live.
It's a very good idea.
Let me see if I can find that link real quick. I'm not seeing it on our channel yet, so it's there. We'll be there.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us all, and we will hopefully, we'll hopefully see you tomorrow over on our channel to do some more writing in. All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.